Camron, leaving Sirius XM, just got done with the Max B interview. Max B had the NY streets flooded. Jimmy acting like he can't see the water rising.
Me and these niggas go back like 40 years.
When you hear that you definitely didn't come home, what's the energy? Because I'm going to keep it 100. Yo, Kill, I got to talk to the governor in Jersey.
Yeah,
Yo, once I speak to the mayor in East Brunswick, I'm coming up.
It was, like I said, you just got to switch the mindset.
Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No.
Camron, dipping out of Sirius XM, just wrapped that Max B interview, and the moment it dropped, the NY streets lit up like it was a comeback parade. Max B touched freedom, and the whole city felt that shockwave, while Jim Jones acted like he couldn't see the tide rising right under him. Max stepped out those prison gates, and the city went wild, but Jim couldn't even hide how bothered he was. He jumped online trying to call the celebration dumb, and even tried painting Max B as some sort of failure, which sounds wild because didn't Jim cheer loud when Mel came home? The switch up was so obvious people were already whispering. But here's where it gets even louder.
I want you to pass it at some point.
Want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out because I don't want to crash.
Max B sat down with Camron and Mace, and Cam claimed that Jim is still scared of Max B after all these years. So now we got to break down what really went on, why Jimmy's shaking like this, and why Max B stepping back into real life is rattling his whole foundation all over again. Max B, Big Aveli, is one of those artists where the deeper you dig, the clearer it gets that he helped shape a whole era of New York rap and never got the shine he truly earned. His name is Charlie Wingate, Harlem born and raised, and he came up in the early to mid-2000s under Jim Jones's Bird Gang crew, moving with real momentum. But here's the wild part. Max wasn't just another rapper in the lineup, not even close. He had that loose, melodic sing-rap flavor nobody else was touching at the time, a wavy style that felt years ahead. That half-sung, smooth-floating New York sound that artists like ASAP Rocky later made mainstream.
There was a bitch, her name was Cindy and Mindy. I wasn't sure cause I was too tipsy off the rim, playing big in the van. Let me green, my dick was a buck'em, I was the ATM machine. Had the sparkle all in my ear, low, nibble on the little nipples and blowing on.
Max had already mapped that out before anybody thought it was cool. Max was laying the blueprint while the city was still catching up, and even people who didn't vibe with him had to admit he brought something fresh to New York. Max was dropping tapes nonstop. $1 Million Baby, the Public Domain series, Coke Wave with French Montana, and every one of them turned into a cult classic. Even without that big industry machine behind him, he was the rapper other rappers secretly studied. But in 2006, right when the momentum was hitting heavy, everything spun in a whole new direction. Max got pulled into a robbery situation that completely changed his path. And here's how that night played out on September 22nd, 2006.
I ain't gonna lie, Max B really inspired my whole rapping career too. I feel like, not rapping career, but you see the way I'm making melodies.
Yeah.
He was a big part of that because before I started rapping, I was singing Max B all the time.
Max B's ex-girlfriend, Gina Conway, told him about a man she had met, Alan J. Plowden, who was flashing serious cash around. Instead of brushing it off and staying locked in on music, Max thought this could be his next move, and that decision shifted everything. He sent his stepbrother, Kelvin Leda, to carry out the robbery and told Gina to go along with him. They pulled up to Plowden's room at a Holiday Inn in Fort Lee, thinking they were about to secure a quick grab. Gina knocked, and another woman, Giselle Neves, opened the door. And that's the moment everything took a turn. Giselle said Plowden was asleep, but that's when Kelvin pulled out the gun and held her at gunpoint, while Gina wrapped her with duct tape and the whole room turned messy in seconds. They tore the place apart trying to find that bag, flipping everything like it was a movie scene, but nothing popped up.
Kids go, where's daughter?
Let's not get close to the gate, guys. They're gonna tell us to move.
So they woke Plowden, taped him down too, and started pressing him hard about where the cash was. He kept saying there was nothing in the room, so Kelvin made him call his partner, David Taylor, and tell him to bring the money over. But the second Taylor stepped inside, he swung on Kelvin, and the whole situation exploded. In the middle of that struggle, the gun went off, and Taylor was fatally shot right there. Everything went from reckless to life-changing in an instant. After the chaos, Gina grabbed Giselle's purse and took the $800 she found on Taylor, while Kelvin snatched his watch, all for pocket money and some jewelry, which makes the whole thing feel even more tragic now. They risked everything for scraps. Once they escaped, Plowden told the hotel staff what happened, and when police rushed the room, they found him trying to hide $30,000 in cash. He literally ended up catching his own charges because he was still shifting the money around when they walked in. A few days later, Gina got picked up, and she immediately told detectives everything. Max, Kelvin, the plan, the whole rundown. Max and Kelvin were arrested soon after, and Max got slapped with a $2 million bail, which was huge for that time.
Never worked for that cornball ass again. Me? I'm a boss. I'm not with that. It's never nothing no more. Like, I look like a boss, I feel like a boss, I taste like a boss. Max Bigger Val. Out of here, man. So Jim Jones, compare the names. Look, Max Bigger Val. Jim Jones. The guy don't even add up. They're not on my level.
By 2009, Gina took a plea deal on manslaughter and armed robbery, agreeing to testify while facing up to 18 years. Fast forward to May 2009, Max and Kelvin's trial kicked off, and on June 9th, 2009, they were convicted on 9 out of 11 charges, including felony murder. Max got hit with a 75-year sentence, and Kelvin was given life, plus 35 years. The very next day, Max's ex Gina was sentenced to 15 years, which locked her fate too. Max tried to appeal the case, but in August 2012, the appeal got rejected, cementing that 75-year stretch at the time. But then, in 2016, everything spun again when Max B's conviction got tossed out after it was revealed. His original lawyer had a major conflict of interest, a twist nobody saw coming. He said, I would never work for that.
Keep it tall. That's kind of how I missed out on Max B. I'm just being straight up honest. And Jim ended up signing him because Jim seen the vision, because Jim had an outside vision of Max. I grew up with Max. Charlie Rambo, play all day, joking all the time. So when he came to me and said he gonna start rapping, I was like, yo, Charlie, stop playing. His exact words was killer. They were like, no, let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
Max B, he wasn't Max B. His name was Charlie Rambo. He got out of jail. He come up to me. This is word for word. So I'm like, Charlie, what up when you guys say, yo, Flea, I just came home. I said, y'all say you always just come. He said, yo, Flea, you know how to rap now. Let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
Cornball. And after that whole situation played out, Max's sentence got cut down to 20 years once he pleaded guilty to aggravated manslaughter, flipping his entire future in a way nobody expected. Jump to November, and Max finally touched freedom after almost 16 years behind bars. Friends and family pulled up heavy to welcome him home, including his longtime collaborator, French Montana. French even posted a video of him greeting Max right outside those prison gates, writing, "Can't make this up. My brother really came home on my B-Day MLA. No more free you." And the internet exploded the moment it hit the feed. Now let's slide straight into the messy part. The tension between Max B and Jim Jones. When Max first locked in with Bird Gang and Dipset, he wasn't just hanging around, he was doing real heavy lifting. He wrote hooks, helped craft verses, and people still say he played a role in major records like We Fly High. Nah, boom. This is where the heat really kicks in. According to Max, he never got real credit or fair money for anything he contributed. He said he was basically being used. He'd craft the vibe, shape the records, and Jim would stack the checks while Max walked off with almost nothing.
That's what I'm saying, but you don't know the slander, like when you got locked up, you don't know the slander that I get. Cam, how the you let it go this way? From the same, like, what the how to go, da-da-da-da. I'm like, yo, I ain't see the, yo, I ain't see this nigga be playing niggas in and out of jail all the time, man. I ain't see this shit was gonna happen. Niggas be ready to take my head off about this shit.
Because you ain't a prophet.
Yeah.
They want you to be about prophet.
Yeah, listen, man. And I listen, I'm first tell you, I missed out and I didn't see it because you was too much of my nigga and I didn't see the vision. And sometimes what it is, not even talking about you, because you turned out to be something else.
You still got me in though.
Oh no,
You did
listen,
everything in your. You was like, look, go see, bro.
Yeah, but listen, we boomerang. We here now. We ain't even gonna get into.
I'm just saying, like that's how.
Right.
Even you acknowledge, like, still, like, damn, I got Jaja, I got this, I got Rel, I got, you know what I'm saying? You said, nah.
We're talking shows where Jim was pulling in real bread, and Max was getting a couple $100, barely anything for the work he was carrying. But this whole thing wasn't just about money. It was about respect. Max said Jim never treated him like an equal, even though he was responsible for a huge piece of that creative wave behind the scenes. That disrespect kept stacking layer after layer until it hit a breaking point. Eventually, Max walked away from Bird Gang completely. After dipping, he teamed up with French Montana, and together they dropped music that pushed back at Jim Jones and showed fans who was really shaping those hits. They didn't hold back. They laid everything out loud and clear. Jim, meanwhile, claimed he never tried to interfere with Max B's bag and said he was just moving the way his own mentors taught him, keeping the business structure how he learned it. But here's what Jim conveniently left out. He never handed Max his publishing back out of goodwill. Max had to sue him, and the court forced Jim to return it, which says a whole lot by itself. Camron even spoke on this, and he's always stood with Max. Cam said Jim has a pattern of trying to control people and taking credit for things he didn't fully create. Cam actually planned to sign Max before Bird Gang ever happened, but he admitted he didn't catch the vision early enough.
Coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No. Now we get past now. We can get past that now. You want to get past it? Or you want to dive more into it? Or you want me to tweak it?
I want you to pass it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out, because I don't want to crash out. Now, what I want for myself, I want for my brother.
I appreciate it.
You see what I'm saying? Because there's too much money out here, there's too much life out here, and I like to do the things that I like to do. Ain't nothing feel better.
Jim scooped him up first, and that move shifted Max's whole path. Even after everything that went down, Max and Cam stayed cool, and when Max came home, he pulled up for an interview with Cam and Mace. And the wild part? They didn't mention Jim at all. They kept the conversation clean. Harlem days, Max's time inside, and what he's trying to build next. But even with Max coming home to real love and support, Jim Jones still couldn't keep it smooth. Instead of welcoming the moment or showing any growth, he got online throwing shade, calling the celebration pointless, and trying to clown Max like he wasn't a major piece of Dipset's legacy. That reaction exposed everything without Jim even realizing it. Because let's be honest, Max being free brings back all the old conversations Jim never wanted aired out in public. Who really wrote what? Who created the sound? Who built the wave? The moment Max steps back into the spotlight, all those questions come right back, and Jim knows exactly what that means. That's why his energy been shaky from day one. Meanwhile, when Max sat down with Cam and Mace, he didn't even bring Jim up. He didn't throw dirt, didn't take cheap shots. He talked about his life, his growth, and what he's focused on now. And that silence hit way harder than any diss ever could, because it showed Max isn't stuck in the past. While Jim still can't stop reacting to it, the fans caught the contrast instantly. People started digging up old interviews, old credits, old drama, and suddenly the whole internet remembered just how much Max contributed to the sound Jim built his image on. And that's where the unease really kicks in, because a free Max means those conversations are back and they're not disappearing this time. This time, Max is moving forward, leveling up, living life again, while Jim looks stuck, running the same old cycle on repeat. And then Camron dropped the line that had the whole internet buzzing. He claimed Jim is still scared of Max B after all these years, and he didn't say it joking around. He said it straight. The second that clip hit the net, it spread everywhere. Fans started pulling up old moments where Jim dodged certain questions or lightly brushed off Max's name, like it hit a nerve way deeper than he ever admitted. Cam didn't even need to break it down. The history already does that. Back when Max began catching real attention, Jim wasn't ready for someone from his own crew to shine that bright. And now that Max is home again, that old pressure comes right back, because Max isn't the same man he was before he went inside. He's calmer, sharper, way more focused, and that confidence shows every time he speaks. Meanwhile, Jim keeps trying to downplay everything like he's above it. But the people aren't buying that act. The tone, the timing, the slick little shots. Everyone can see exactly what's going on. It all comes off like someone trying to protect a spot he doesn't even feel solid in anymore. Max being home drags the real truth back into the light. Who actually built what, who deserved the credit, and who might have been getting held back. And when someone like Camron, who lived through the whole era, says Jim been nervous around Max's name for years, that hits completely different. Max isn't even chasing drama, but his presence alone shakes the room every time he steps in. And even though Max isn't thinking about Jim at all right now, it's clear Jim is still holding on to something heavy. When Mace asked him in a recent interview if he could finally let the past stay in the past, it was obvious the question cut deeper than he wanted to show. Jim straight up said no, and he wouldn't explain anything past that. You could see it hit a nerve instantly, and the internet jumped on it right away. People in the comments started saying things like, Jim still has PTSD about Max running around World Star back in the day, dissing him 24/7, and some even brought up the hotel situation again. The internet never forgets, and they let him know it loud. But other folks had a whole different angle. One person wrote, Jim is saying this because Max B is not in front of him. If they saw each other, there is no way that they could not heal and move forward as brothers. The love is still there. Jim is hurt. Jim feels hurt by Cam too. Jim has to realize he hurt Max B too. That is why he responded that way. I think they can move forward. Comments like that had the whole discussion spinning because they hinted at something deeper. Real feelings, real history, and wounds that never fully healed. That comment had everyone debating all night, going back and forth about whether they could really heal or if the history between them is just way too heavy. Can they actually move past everything? Or did things get so deep that there's no real going back to the way it was before Max got locked up? This whole situation runs deeper than most fans even realize. And now that Max is home, the truth is louder than ever. But one thing's clear. The story isn't finished yet. And the next chapter is already unfolding right in front of us. Before you dip, make sure you subscribe to Famezaar, drop a comment, like this video, and share it if you're rocking with the content. And if you really enjoyed it, hit that hype this video button. It's free, and it helps the channel grow in a major way. Thank you.